Okay, this is for my clarinets only, as I promised I would post a video that was just for them. So before you get going, take a look at your clarinets, or the pieces of your clarinet. The first thing you want to do is take your cork grease, which looks like this, or something like it, or sometimes it looks like chapstick. That's what it looks like. So you're just going to take a little bit, and everything that is a cork on the clarinet, everything that's a cork, so just like that, is just going to need a little bit of cork grease. Not much, just a little bit on your finger. You can't even see that there's enough there. It's just enough to, it's not goopy or anything like that. You just put enough on it so that it, and then I like to put just a little bit on the inside of the plastic too, just because those are the two sides that go together. So just a little bit on the inside of the bell, the cork on the mouthpiece, and then the cork on either side of the upper joint. So that needs a little cork grease too. It just makes everything fit together a lot easier. And if you hear like a creaking sound when you're putting the horn together, if it's going like when you're putting it together, it means it's too tight. It needs more grease. Okay, so then it's greased up. So you're gonna take your reed. Let's see if I can get a clarinet reed here. And before you start putting it together, you're gonna take your reed. Take your reed, and you're gonna just put it in your mouth and get it all nice and moist. Okay, it won't vibrate if it's not wet. So I used to get both sides, so I'll put it in my mouth and I kind of twirl it around. Okay, so while you're doing that, you can begin to put the bottom joint. The bottom joint is the one side that has no cork on it, with the other side no cork. No cork, bottom joint. The bottom joint goes and slides that together. See how there's no creaking sound? It's very smooth. That's how you want to do it. So then you can put the logo there so it looks nice. Then put this back down on your case. You're going to take the top joint and the barrel. Barrel looks like that. And you're going to slide that together. The barrel goes on the side with you can kind of see that. Barrel goes on the top. See how that's kind of creaky? I don't like that sound. I'm going to put a little more cork grease on that. So I'm just going to put a little on the inside of the barrel because I put enough on the inside there. So then top joint again, barrel. Oops, got to put it on right. Okay. That's better. Okay, so now the top joint's together. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the top and the bottom, you're going to put it together. That should slide together. So you're going to try to line up, make sure that bridge key right there, you see the bridge key? So there's a bridge key there, and then there's a key that matches up with it right there. You can kind of see it right there. Hey, can I get it? Right there is the key, right there. So you're going to slide that together by engaging the top bridge key. So what you're going to do is you're going to put these keys here, and you're going to kind of engage them by putting them down as you're putting it together, and then it'll slide together. Don't engage the bottom keys, because then that kind of defeats the purpose. So you can see how the bridge key is up, and then you're going to kind of slide it right together. See if I can get that on the camera. Slide it together so that it lines up perfectly. Right there. Kind of see how that bridge key right there lines up? Kind of see how it's not lined up now? It's lined up now, okay? So that's what you want to do. So now, you take your mouthpiece, and you can put your mouthpiece on, and just slides on. Oops. Slides on, and then put your ligature on. Okay, so now your whole clarinet's together. And you want to make sure that all the keys are lined up. You want to make sure that the bell is all, so that's how it kind of looks. Okay? So now, putting the reed on, I kind of want to make sure the mouthpiece is lined up too. Make sure the mouthpiece is lined up right there. So the flat side of the mouthpiece goes on the back of the horn. And you can imagine that the front of the horn is the part with the keys facing forward. The back of the horn just has that little register key there. So the mouthpiece wants to line up, the flat part of the mouthpiece wants to line up with the back of the clarinet. So put the ligature on. And the reason why we put the ligature on first is because a lot of people, when they put the reed on, if they put the reed on first, you can see this. If you put the reed on first and then put the ligature on, there is a good chance that you're going to crack that reed. So to minimize the chance of you cracking the reed, put the ligature on first. And if you see, the screws go to the bottom and to the right. Now there's a couple brands of ligatures that goes the other way, but usually that's how they go. So if it doesn't seem right, you might want to ask me, and we'll take a look. So now, put the ligature on, and you're going to slide the reed underneath the ligature. See if I can show you this good. It's hard to do, and don't put it on camera. So you're going to slide it right underneath, right? So it's going to go like this. I'll show you. This is hard to do on camera. But here, you're going to slide the reed. You see how it's a flat part. The flat part of the reed is going to go to the flat part of the mouthpiece. And you're going to slide it under. And then push the ligature down so that the screws are to the right and enough and well beyond the little cut of the reed. So the ligature's got to be pretty far down there to allow the reed to vibrate. Now, this is super important. Where the reed sits is going to affect your sound to no end. Okay, so you really want the reed to line up with the tip of the mouthpiece to the point where you have just a sliver. It's kind of see how the angle. You see how that's just a sliver of the black of the reed? There's just a sliver of the mouthpiece you can see beyond the reed, I meant to say. So that's how that works. So then push the ligature down, making sure that you keep the tip of the reed in place, and then you tighten it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Then you're ready to go. You're ready to make a sound. Okay, so for the clarinet, the first note you're going to play is a G, and it's going to be open. So here's how you hold it. Now, the G is an interesting note because you don't really have anything depressed to play a G. So this is how really important how to hold it. Now, your left hand goes closest to your mouth. Your left hand goes closest to your mouth, and it comes from the clarinet. You can kind of see from the left-hand side. The right hand doesn't go closest, the left hand does. And then your right hand, and you can see that your thumb kind of rests on the little hole here. It doesn't always depress the hole, it just kind of rests there. And then you sometimes use this key. You won't use it for a while, but you sometimes use this key. So you want it to be able to pivot. So then your first finger goes here, second finger goes here, third finger goes here. So you can think about skipping this guy, skipping the first key, then you're going to hit the second key. You're going to kind of skip that guy right there, then right there, and then right there. And then your third finger goes on the hole that doesn't have a key on it. Okay? So in your right hand, your thumb goes behind, and you want to make sure that your thumb doesn't go too far in, and let's see if I can show that, too far in like that. Your thumb wants to be right at, or the thumb rest wants to be right at the thumbnail. Okay, so you can see the little cuticle there. You can see from years and years of playing, my cuticle is kind of big because it's kind of from years and years of playing. So you want the clarinet to be right on the cuticle, and then that allows your right hand to be free. I think in the one video we talked about, the guy talked about having a softball or having your hands relaxed. So that's what you want. You want to go at your fingers as flat as possible, as opposed to like this. You don't want to claw, because when you think about it, you have to cover those holes, right, with your finger. And a good thing to make sure that you're covering the holes is to just kind of squeeze, and then you'll see little holes on your fingers. If it's not perfectly in the center, or if the hole's not complete, you can kind of see that, then you're not covering the hole. So that's a good way to check that. So your first note we're going to play is a G, which is open. So you're just going to have the clarinet resting on your thumb, and you're going to have your right hand just kind of over the keys, but not depressing anything. And then you can play your first note, G. Okay, and then the next note you're going to play is F, which is going to be just your thumb. This is page 4, by the way, in the book. So G, and then F. Now with your thumb still depressed, you're going to add the first key here. That's an E. And then add the second note, or your second finger, sorry, that's a D. And then adding your third finger, that's a C. So on there, I don't have it on, the sheet music, but if you look at page 4, you look at page 4 in there, it gives you each note. So basically, that page 4 is a long tone, so it looks like this. Off, 2, 3, 4. Off, 2, 3, and then go to the number, what is it, number, I think it's number 3, right? Off, 2, 3, 4. Off. And when you're making your embouchure, you want to make sure that your teeth are on the top and your bottom lip is curling over your teeth. And so that when you have your teeth laying there, and you want your jaw to be back far enough, kind of like where the reed separates from the mouthpiece. Okay? That's it. That's going to be your playing test. So when you're taking it apart, I recommend you do the same thing backwards. Take it apart like that. And then what you do is you put the bottom joint down, take the top point off, and some clarinets have a oops, I just dropped a reed on the ground. Some clarinets have a mouthpiece cover. You want to do that. Take the mouthpiece off, and you want to spray it with the solution. Make sure it's clean. Make sure the mouthpiece is sprayed, and then you can put that away. And how you store your reed is important. I'd put it back in the little plastic case if you have it. And then backwards, the barrel goes in the hole. The upper joint is to the front. And you'll figure out how it goes in. Clarinets are kind of confusing because there's a lot of parts. And then put everything back. And then always, always make sure that you close your case when you're done. Because if you don't close your case when you're done, you come back later, you pick it up, and it's going to go all over the place. All right? So I hope that helps. Sorry I didn't get you guys this morning, but I hope that helps.